Picture this. You're at a car dealership surrounded by shiny electric vehicles, while a salesperson assures you that driving an EV is the best way to save the planet. Later, you're at the grocery store, contemplating the latest plant-based burger, marketed as a game-changer for the environment. It all sounds ideal. Green solutions that promise a better future. But here's the catch. What if these heavily promoted solutions don't align with what people actually need or want? Beneath the glossy marketing and government mandates lies a growing disconnect between theoretical fixes and practical realities. Let's explore how electric vehicles and fake meat reflect a top-down approach to environmentalism that often misses the mark for everyday consumers. Governments worldwide are pushing hard for the adoption of electric vehicles, envisioning them as the future of transportation. But is the average consumer ready for this revolution? One of the biggest challenges is the lack of infrastructure. While EV ownership sounds appealing, the reality of limited charging stations, especially in rural areas or apartment complexes, makes it impractical for many. Long wait times at chargers and unreliable availability can turn the dream of EV ownership into a logistical nightmare. Add to this the high upfront costs. Even with government subsidies, EVs remain significantly more expensive than traditional gasoline cars, making them out of reach for many families. Although they promise lower running costs over time, the initial price tag and associated expenses like home chargers present a major barrier. Battery life is another sticking point. Over time, EV batteries degrade, reducing their driving range and requiring costly replacements. Unlike traditional cars, which can last decades with routine maintenance, EVs introduce concerns about longevity and value. These realities raise an important question. Are governments accounting for these practical barriers when pushing mandates that expect households to transition entirely to electric vehicles? The story is similar when it comes to fake meat. Plant-based alternatives are heralded as the ethical and eco-friendly solution to traditional animal agriculture, but many consumers remain skeptical. For starters, fake meat is highly processed. While it's marketed as healthy, it often contains additives and artificial ingredients to mimic the taste and texture of real meat. This doesn't resonate with people looking for natural, simple food options. Then there's the cost. Plant-based meat products are typically more expensive than their traditional counterparts, leaving consumers questioning whether the environmental benefits are worth the financial trade-off. And while fake meat proponents focus on reducing the carbon footprint, they often ignore sustainable farming practices like regenerative agriculture that already provide eco-friendly solutions without the need for heavily industrialized processes. So why are these products being pushed so aggressively? The answer lies in top-down mandates. Governments and corporations are prioritizing quotas and production targets over the actual needs and preferences of consumers. For example, automakers are racing to meet government-imposed EV production goals, and fake meat companies are leveraging subsidies and investments to flood the market with their products. While these moves may look good on paper, they often fail to account for the day-to-day realities of the average household. Policymakers and executives seem more focused on optics, demonstrating progress in combating climate change, than on ensuring their solutions are practical and accessible. This top-down approach creates a major disconnect between policymakers and the people they aim to serve. Most consumers aren't clamoring for lab-grown burgers or high-tech electric cars. They're looking for solutions that are affordable, reliable, and easy to integrate into their lives. A family balancing a budget is unlikely to prioritize a pricey EV or a plant-based meal that costs more and delivers less satisfaction. Instead, they may prefer options like fuel-efficient gasoline cars or locally sourced, sustainably raised meat, solutions that offer incremental progress without requiring dramatic lifestyle changes or significant financial strain. The problem is even more pronounced in developing countries. Electric vehicles and fake meat are often framed as global solutions, but they rarely align with the priorities or needs of these regions. In countries where infrastructure is limited, EVs become a burden rather than a benefit. Charging stations are scarce, and replacing degraded batteries is prohibitively expensive. Similarly, shipping processed fake meat to areas with thriving traditional farming systems overlooks the sustainable practices already in place. These communities don't need over-engineered products. They need solutions that respect their local realities. If we're serious about creating a more sustainable future, it's time to rethink this top-down approach. Real solutions come from listening to consumers and addressing their practical concerns. For instance, instead of mandating an EV-only future, why not invest in improving the efficiency of traditional cars or promoting hybrid models as a transitional step? Similarly, supporting regenerative agriculture can provide consumers with ethically sourced meat that benefits the environment without requiring an entirely new food system. These bottom-up approaches focus on enhancing existing systems to make sustainability more accessible and realistic. Public transportation is another example of a bottom-up solution with immense potential. Investing in reliable transit systems reduces car dependency altogether, benefiting both urban and rural communities. And when it comes to food, emphasizing local food systems can reduce the environmental impact of transportation and packaging, while also supporting local economies. These approaches may lack the flashy appeal of EVs or fake meat, but they offer practical, meaningful progress that aligns with the needs of everyday people. At its core, sustainability isn't about imposing one-size-fits-all mandates. It's about creating solutions that work for everyone. That means shifting the focus away from products that look good in marketing campaigns, but fail to deliver in real life. Governments and corporations need to engage with consumers to understand their challenges and preferences, rather than relying on quotas and subsidies to push top-down solutions. By embracing a more collaborative and grounded approach, we can drive environmental progress that truly benefits people and the planet. It's time to move past the hype and focus on what really works. The path to sustainability isn't paved with overhyped technologies or heavy-handed mandates. It's built on practical, affordable, and inclusive solutions that meet people where they are. Let's demand better from the systems driving change and ensure that the future we build is one that works for everyone, not just those with the resources to navigate complex, impractical products.